People always said beauty opens doors in the town of Willow Creek. Everyone believed it like gospel, especially Mr. Haraway. He had two daughters, Clara, the pretty one, with golden curls, perfect posture, and a smile trained to impress. And then there was Evelyn, quiet, plain, always standing half a step behind, as if she already knew she didn't belong in the spotlight that morning. The entire house buzzed with excitement. A duke was coming, not just any man, but Duke Alexander Reed, wealthy, respected, and known for his generosity. Rumor said he was looking for a wife who could stand beside him in both society and service. Mr. Haraway straightened his coat and whispered sharply, "Evelyn, stay out of sight today." She nodded. She always did. Clara descended the stairs like she'd practiced her whole life for this moment. Their father beamed. "This is it," he told her. "Your future." When Duke Alexander arrived, he was calm, observant, nothing like the arrogant noble people expected. His eyes scanned the room slowly. Mr. Haraway stepped forward eagerly and said, almost laughing, "Take the pretty one." He gestured proudly toward Clara. "She's everything a man like you deserves." Behind them, near the window, Evelyn held a tray of tea. Her hands trembled slightly, not from nerves, but from being invisible. As she turned to leave quietly, the Duke's eyes stopped on her, not because she was beautiful, but because she looked kind. And in that moment, everything was about to change. Duke Alexander didn't speak right away. He watched Evelyn as she carefully set the tea down, making sure no cup spilled. She apologized softly when her sleeve brushed the table, even though nothing had gone wrong. "Who is she?" the Duke finally asked. The room went still. Mr. Haraway frowned. "Oh, her? That's Evelyn, my other daughter. She's helpful." Evelyn felt her cheeks burn. She lowered her eyes, preparing to step back, but the Duke raised a hand gently. "Please," he said, "stay." Clara's smile tightened. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. Duke Alexander asked Evelyn simple questions. Where did she learn to pour tea so carefully? Why did she thank people even when they ignored her? What did she enjoy doing? Evelyn answered honestly. She talked about helping at the town shelter, reading to elderly neighbors, and sewing blankets for families she'd never meet. No fancy words. No performance. Just truth. Mr. Haraway cleared his throat loudly. "My lord," he interrupted. "Clara has been trained for society. She understands status, events, appearances. Evelyn is shy." The Duke smiled politely, but his eyes didn't leave Evelyn. "I didn't come here looking for appearances," he said calmly. "I came looking for character." That night, the Duke made an announcement that shocked everyone. "I will spend the next week getting to know Evelyn." Clara stormed out in tears. Mr. Haraway's face hardened with embarrassment and anger. Later, he cornered Evelyn and whispered harshly, "Don't get ideas. Men like him don't choose girls like you." Evelyn went to bed believing him, but she didn't know this was only the beginning of the twist over the next few days. Duke Alexander visited places no noble ever bothered with. He walked with Evelyn through the shelter, listened as volunteers greeted her warmly, and watched how children clung to her hands. One afternoon, he finally told her the truth. "I grew up with nothing," he said quietly. "I was ignored, judged, overlooked. Kindness saved me." Evelyn looked at him, stunned. No one had ever shared something so real with her. Meanwhile, Clara grew bitter. She accused Evelyn of manipulation, of stealing what wasn't hers. Mr. Haraway demanded the Duke reconsider. "She's not suitable," he insisted. "She'll embarrass you." The Duke stood firm. "She's the only one here who hasn't tried to impress me," he replied. The breaking point came at a charity banquet. Clara, desperate, publicly mocked Evelyn's simple dress and quiet manners. Laughter rippled through the crowd. Evelyn froze. Years of rejection hit her all at once. She excused herself and left, humiliated and heartbroken. That night, she packed her things. "I don't belong in your world," she told the Duke softly the next morning. "I never did." Duke Alexander took her hands gently. "You belong exactly where kindness is needed," he said. Then he did something no one expected. At the next public gathering, he announced not an engagement, but a foundation, one led by Evelyn, focused on helping forgotten people. The room went silent, and then he said the words that changed Evelyn's life forever. "And I will marry the woman who reminded me who I am." The reaction was immediate. Gasps, whispers, shock. Mr. Haraway stood frozen, realizing too late what he had lost. Clara broke down, not because she wasn't chosen, but because she finally understood why. Evelyn cried, not from pain this time, but from relief. For the first time, someone saw her worth without asking her to change. Their wedding was simple, no grand show. Just warmth, laughter, and people who truly mattered. Evelyn didn't become confident overnight, but she grew, supported, respected, loved as Duchess. She never forgot where she came from. She visited shelters. She listened to the overlooked. She treated everyone with dignity. Years later, a young girl once asked her, "How did you become so important?" Evelyn smiled gently and said, "I was important long before anyone noticed." Mr. Haraway eventually apologized, humbled by the kindness Evelyn showed him despite everything. Clara learned too. Beauty fades, but character stays. The moral of the story is simple. Kindness doesn't shout. Worth doesn't need permission. And the people the world rejects are often the ones who change it the most. Sometimes, when someone says, "Take the pretty one," the greatest choice is choosing the heart everyone else ignored.